Okay, we're doing it live. Yeah.
Excellent
Oh god,
connection.
this is scary and spooky and jeez Louise, Jeepers Creepers. Did you ever watch Jeepers Creepers as a kid?
Panic be like, Jeepers. I have no idea what that even
Wait,
is.
it's okay. Then never mind. um, let's see.
It is something I like saying, though. It is a very fun thing to
I
say.
think the movie is based on the saying. Like they took the saying and then they made a whole like horror ass movie from it. It's not very good from what I remember. Um,
As most kid movies tend
well,
to
it's
be.
not it's not even a kid movie. It's like it's a horror movie that came out when I was a kid. So I asked if he. So I was wondering, I'm like, well, maybe Mose also saw it as a
Oh,
kid, kind of thing.
oh,
I
it is
saw
a
it as a
very fun
kid,
thing.
and it wasn't great. Oh, I should probably figure out how did you get the whole like Discord call in the display? Because we can do that for the next time. But you know, uh, something I want to learn how to do.
Oh, you just what's the one? It's window capture, and then you find the Discord.
Oh, okay. And you can kind of customize how big the window is or what's being captured.
Yeah, you have
Okay.
to uh, mess with that a little with form dual
Okay, cool.
or whatever.
All right, my internet's terrible. This is a terrible idea to stream because it's gonna be the worst, just the worst quality ever, or it's gonna fluctuate quality.
Panic
Um,
Beulah. Y'all late. Panic, we were busy getting you into the call. Your robot. Your
yeah, honestly,
robot
this
voice.
robot sounds like you, Panic. Like I thought it was you. Oh God, where can I
But
read the
yeah.
chat?
I have it open on my phone. That's what I do.
Oh, okay, that's actually a good idea because
On the
I never read chat on
control
this.
on the on the control page on the control panel for that live thing, I think the chat is there.
Oh,
And you can
okay.
watch it from there.
Oh, there's Panic. Panic, this is my
Yeah.
first time doing streaming. Can you like be a little bit more nice about this? Jeez Louise. This
Yeah,
is
Panic. What the fuck?
God damn it.
Stop bullying better.
Alright. I don't know how to start this. Other than what's up everybody? It's ya boy, the Funkmaster Bex. And I'm here with the Mozilla Finnegan. And we're gonna talk about hella
You
music today. Hella music. How are you doing, Moz?
I would say Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh yeah, it is
We were
December.
setting up Christmas today. Well, no, it's actually Christmas. We were setting up Christmas decorations, and my
Hi,
4-year-old
I'm Dr.
niece
K.
told me
I'm a harp.
tomorrow. She said tomorrow it will be Christmas, and I said, "Oh, no, it won't." And she said, "Yes, it will." And I'm like, "No, not gonna be Christmas tomorrow." And she says, "Yes, it will. It's Christmas tomorrow." So I'm like, you know what, nameless niece, I cannot argue with your logic. That is absolutely sound, and it's official. It is now Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. I didn't get any of you anything though,
Oh.
because I didn't plan on Christmas today. But
I don't
yeah,
think anyone planned on it today.
yeah.
It is what it is. Um,
What if the government just like came out and was just like, "Hey, Christmas is today now. We're canceling Christmas in 20 days. This is the real Christmas now."
okay. I guess. Would it be like
That would be a
incorrect to start
real
with like
pandemic.
Christmas music for this discussion since we're already talking about Christmas?
Nah, I just wanted to intro with that.
Okay, cool. All right, I didn't really want to start with Christmas music quite yet, but
hmm
actually, what I wanted to start with Mose is asking you, what have you been listening to lately?
Lately I've been listening to my past top lists of the year because I've made the last 2 years I've been making a like a at first I started with top 15, but then it went to 2018 was top 15, then 2019 was top 25, and not only did I do that, but then this year I like went back and kind of edited those lists with other stuff that I've picked up in the last 2 years that came out in those years and I missed. So yeah, I've been listening to my revised top list for those last 2 years in preparation of making my top list for this year, which I was working on today.
Oh, interesting.
So the answer is a lot of stuff. I've been listening to lots of different things.
That's interesting because like it seems like you're putting a lot more effort into like figuring out what you like this year than I have, because I already have a pretty abstract idea of what I liked this year, which is like album wise not a whole lot, but song wise there are plenty of things that I really liked this year. But I don't know if I'm like gonna go out of my way to like make a whole ass list. I'm probably gonna make a mental list, but actually I already made a Spotify playlist of like, it's called the Bex Mix 2020, and it's a bunch of stuff that I liked this year. It's a little outdated, but it's pretty good actually. It's like maybe it's about 15 songs I think. But yeah, as for me, what I've been listening to a lot is actually a lot of mashup music. I don't know why. Like I was like, because I talked about Neil C.C. Rega's mashup music last week. I don't know if I really described his style of music the best, but I was like, wanted to go back and listen to his stuff again at work.
Right.
And honestly, it's still the king of mashups. Like, there's no experience quite like his Mouth series. And then I was like,
I'm sorry, I just really love those names, like Mouth Dreams and
Mouth Mouth Silence. So there are reasons for some of the names. Like, say, Mouth Silence came out after Mouth Sounds, but it's considered a prequel to Mouth Sounds, which kind of makes sense. Silence Sounds kind of thing. It does have Smash Mouth references, but they're extremely subtle. Like, there's no like audible. Well, there is audible Smash Mouth references, but they're done in such a way that you would never really know that it was there, if that makes sense. Like, there are, for instance, there is lyrics from like All Star that are like slowed down about 1,600 times, and it's made to sound like it's wind. So if you hear a song where it sounds like there is wind, it's like, nope, that's just the lead singer of Smash Mouth saying something at 1,600 like slowness. And I'm like,
what?
Yeah, no, I'm not even kidding.
That is awesome.
No, I'm not even. Please, if you ever have the time, please listen to Mouth Silence. Like, it's actually kind of the most, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like one of the most unique experiences I've had with mashup music, in that it's very thought out for like what is essentially musical shitposting. Like, very, very well thought out. There are some like really insane mashups there. Like, I mentioned the wind, and you'll hear the wind on the beginning of this track where it's, you know, the B-52s, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, have you ever heard Love Shack by the B-52s?
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you will hear the vocals to Love Shack from the B-52s over the theme from the movie Psycho, right? The very iconic theme. And it's actually the creepiest thing I'll ever hear in my life. It's like insane that I've never heard anything like this, and it works surprisingly well in my opinion. There's a point where there's like the scene in that, well, not in the scene, but like in the song where the woman gets stabbed, right? And like it's set to bang 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 on the door baby, and it's actually like the creepiest shit ever. The last time I heard it was I was on my way from the corner store the other day, and it was at night, and it came on my phone, and it was like, oh my god, am I gonna die today? Because this song was like so fucking creepy, right? And I was like, oh my god. And the whole album actually has like a bunch of just insane mashups. Like, have you ever wanted to hear like Elton John and System of a Down together? I'm not even like, it's Chop Suey and like Crocodile Rock, and it actually like works. It sounds like this very weird like karaoke session from like the lead singer of System of a Down. And it's set to this like really beautiful piano, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Wow.
I would recommend it. They're all of his albums are free for obvious copyright reasons, because they're like hella copyright, right? Like a bunch of copyrighted music. They're all on his website. I think it's neilcic.com. If you ever wanted to hear it, they're on YouTube too. If you wanted to find them on YouTube, that's how I kind of found them. But for me, I've been listening to a lot of like mashup music just to see like, is there anything better than Neil's stuff? And I found a couple of songs that I really quite like. There's this mix of this one song called, do you ever heard the pop song, like, what is it called? Cake by the Ocean?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it's done by the lead singer of the Jonas Brothers. So I was like, okay, he had his own band back in like the mid 2010s or something. They had a hit called Cake by the Ocean.
I remember that.
And it's set to it's also matched up with this ELO song. It's really pretty. I was like, it's very disco heavy, and I'm like, oh, this actually kind of works. There's a couple of them. I should probably make a playlist of like my favorite mashup songs, because like I've listened to maybe like too many of them at this point. But it's something that I'm interested in. Like, I understand that my taste in music is a little on the meme side. Like, I don't want to be known as just the meme music guy, but like there is a lot of meme music that I quite enjoy. In the same way that I enjoy like quote unquote like serious music, right? Because I think there's an art form to a shitpost equivalent, right? But yeah, besides like mashup music, I've been listening to a lot of like Leanne LaHavis and Outkast, which is like which is a very like uncommon duo, but like I listen to what I like essentially.
Yeah,
I have actually listened to a couple of things from earlier this year just to get an idea of what I liked. I think I figured out what my favorite album is. I think, which is probably
what's that?
It would probably be Mac Miller's album Circles.
Really? Favorite album of this year?
Yeah, I think so. If I had to pick like a favorite project, I don't think it's a perfect project, but I was like, wow, this is, I don't know, this album kind of like, I don't want to say touched me because that sounds weird, but like it was like something that stayed with me the most. There were a lot of songs.
It hits different sometimes.
That album like very much hit different, especially post death. That album hits. There are a lot of songs where Mac talks about wanting to have kids, and like he makes the comparison of like hand-me-down genes with like passing down his genetic genes, and it's the saddest thing I've ever heard this year, and it makes me want to cry actually. There's a lot of moments where you're just like, man, I wish Mac was still here. Holy shit. The instrumentation is super beautiful too. It's unlike really anything I've heard on a Mac album. I haven't listened to a lot of Mac Miller since like Macadelic back in the early 2010s. So I was like, it's nice to hear him on not just like hip hop instrumentals. I know he's been kind of drifting away from hip hop for like years now, but this album like hit very different. I was like, this is beautiful. Sorry, I'm going on a ramble. I'm kind of curious what your favorite stuff is this year.
Well, I actually want to branch off that with Mac Miller because I was thinking about it. Because the song "Good News" is in my playlist, and my main thing is like I definitely know what I like this year for sure. Like I have lists of like all the stuff that I like. It's just a matter of ordering it. And like the thing with like Good News was really on my mind because I'm just kind of wondering where I put it, because I always love much more upbeat, energetic music and stuff. Like, you know, if you see my playlist, it's, you know, it's pretty obvious
like
what I like.
Tempo stuff a lot of the time, I feel like.
Yeah. I like loud music. But Good News is on the playlist, and it's like I don't listen to that song a lot, but it's also like when I do listen to it, it's like I really like get into it. Like I really feel it, and it like really resonates with me because it's such a sad song, even though it also sounds like there's like this contentness with it. It's just kind of like this resignation that it's like, things are really bad, but I guess that's just how it is.
That's
and
like
that's just
the
how
majority
it's
of that
be.
album is just like things are bad, but I'm all right kind of thing.
It's just and so it's just like, you know, I really appreciate this on a different way. Like I appreciate the song beyond the fact that I'll like how many times I listen to it like doesn't really matter. It's like I appreciate the song for a different reason.
It's the feeling the song gives you.
Sounding good. Yeah. And it's not going to be, you know, and that it's not going to, sorry, I'm tired. Like I'm not going to listen to it as much as many of the other songs on this playlist, but I feel like it deserves a higher spot for a different reason.
No, I get you. That's kind of how I feel about some other songs that I like. Let's see. Oh, you know, actually, no, that's not true. Like, a lot of my favorite songs this year are ones that I put on repeat, like, a lot. Actually, is this where we kind of start talking about our Spotify Wrapped? Maybe.
We could, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So can I complain about Spotify Wrapped for like 1 second?
Sure.
First of all, apparently the person who created like Spotify Wrapped in the sense that it would have like little graphics about your listening habits. Apparently she never got like compensated for that idea or got hired on to Spotify for that idea. Like they just like
That doesn't surprise me at all.
that like pisses me off because it's a really cool thing actually. I like seeing little graphics about my listening habits, even though that feels like they know way too much about me. It's cool as hell though. That being said, I don't like that I had to actually download the mobile app for this shit. That was stupid. Because last year you could just go on like the app, or not on the app, on like the desktop app, and you could just look at the graphics. And I was like, that's all.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like that this year.
I don't understand. I mean, it kind of makes sense because the way that they did it looked like a Instagram or like Twitter story, right? But yeah, what was like the most surprising statistic about your Wrapped?
Hang on, I have to like find all the slides again. Honestly, it wasn't really that surprising to me. Maybe because I was just kind of conscious about it throughout the entire year. But yeah, like when I got my list, it's just like, yeah, that all seems true. I guess maybe the one thing is that, so this was the year where I listened to way more than I have in past years. I keep track of all the albums I've listened to, and usually in a year I listen to like 80 or so albums, like albums that I've never heard before, or at least haven't heard in a really long time. This year it was 150. And it says I listened to, let's see, how many artists? Which slide says artists? 288 artists this year. So there's some stuff that I kind of had a phase with where it's like I listened to this one artist a lot over like a week or two, and it's like they don't even show up in my Spotify Wrapped or anything. Like I listened to the band AFI a lot for at some point, and I remember listening to their albums a lot just to like get an opinion of them. I would listen to them like 3 or 4 times, and this would go on for a couple of weeks, and it's like they're nowhere on my Spotify Wrapped. They're nowhere on my top 100 songs of the whole year, and it's like, wow, I really thought that they'd make it in somehow, but somehow they didn't. Yeah, because in the past years, my top 100 it would be like random stuff that I feel like I listened to twice, and it's just like, oh wow, that song's on here.
Too. Like,
yeah,
not to cut you off, but there's a couple songs on like my top 100 top 100 most played songs on Spotify, and it's like it's me being stupid in that I just didn't put certain songs on loop. So like I listen to so I'll finish one song that I really like, right? And then it'll play like the next song on the album, and I'm like, I don't care about that song as much, and I'll play it for maybe 5 seconds, and I go back to the app, I go to like back on something just so I can listen to the previous song that I really liked, and then somehow that song that kept like being played for like 5 seconds somehow ends up like number 50 on the top 100. And I'm like, I didn't even listen to that song in completion. What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, there's a whole bunch of those on my list because I just simply did not press the loop button, and I was like, why didn't I just fucking do that? But yeah, there's a couple of songs where I'm like, I feel like I listened to that way more than like my list says I did, if that makes sense. It doesn't actually give you like a whole lot of statistics. The only song it gives you like actual statistics for is your most listened to song on Spotify.
Right.
So according to Spotify, my most listened to song is Leanne LaHavis's Please Don't Make Me Cry, and I'm surprised I only listened to it 46 times. It didn't feel like 46 times. I played it for like a couple hours over the course of like a month, but like I feel like I listened to it way, like 46 sounds low. I know that sounds weird, but that just sounds like a low number because I very much enjoyed that song. And then you have other songs where you're like, I remember liking it, but maybe not top 20 most listened to songs, such as like there's this like 21 Savage song called Runnin' that I was like, okay, I definitely remember liking that song, but it's like number 11 on my top 100. I'm like, I do not remember listening to it that much.
Yeah.
There was one other thing that I was really surprised at, which was some of my top favorite artists. And I got Alicia Keys in my top 5 artists. And it's weird because I don't remember listening to a whole lot of Alicia Keys this year beyond like her self-titled album that she dropped this year. I was like, okay, cool. I'll just check out Alicia Keys' new album. I listened to it once. I don't think I finished it, but somehow Spotify thought, wow, this person really likes Alicia Keys. So we're going to put her in his top 5 artists. And I'm like, I feel like there are a ton of other artists that are way more deserving of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I noticed that they played. I was kind of expecting this, for whatever reason, this playlist to be songs from this year only, and I'm like, then I realized I listened to like a lot of songs from not this year, even though I also listened to a lot of songs from this year and a lot of albums this year. This is probably the year that I listened to the most new music, probably because it's readily available on Spotify. This is the most I've ever used Spotify, like, in my life, probably. It also helps that I have Spotify Premium. I just kind of like bit the bullet and just did the free trial of it. And I'm like, this is so much more convenient. Just you can skip as many songs as you like. Super nice. No ads.
Oh yeah.
It's actually
regular
like,
Spotify
legit.
is a nightmare on phone at least.
Oh my god.
On desktop,
I would imagine it's a nightmare on your phone.
On desktop, you can actually in browser actually you can just listen to whatever you want with no ads, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, in browser you can do that?
Yeah.
Without premium? What?
Yeah.
Man, I'm wasting my money then. Shit. Because I listen to it on the desktop app, not the not like the browser app. Because those are two different things. I learned.
Yeah. The main difference is that the desktop app freezes my computer a lot.
Oh.
It's not very good.
Oh.
Spotify is like a really shitty program. It's kind of amazing. This thing makes so much fucking money.
That they made this much money. Like that they've been this popular despite being kind of a shitty program a lot of the time.
Yeah. Like even on my phone, it like crashes a lot. Sometimes I had this weird. It has this weird problem on my phone where it's like, I'll play a song on an album or a playlist or whatever, and then I'll like turn off my phone. I'll put it in my pocket, and then suddenly it will just skip to a completely different song as if I pressed the screen somewhere. And it's like, that's not what I fucking did. Why did you do that? Or sometimes it'll just like close itself automatically or or just crash. Like if I skip too many songs in a row, like really quickly, it just completely breaks my phone and I have to restart it. It's such a piece of shit. I don't know how this app makes so much money and is also run in such a shitty way, because they don't pay their artists. They don't fucking pay royalties. They're not like, what are they spending the money on? Where is it going? I don't know.
I don't get it.
I guess I don't have much of a guilty conscience because I don't pay for it because I'm on my family plan. So someone else pays for it for me. That's convenient. That's how to get by.
It is convenient. But oh, there's another thing I wonder about some of the statistics with like this Wrapped, because I'm like, wow, some of these don't make any, like, I'm kind of curious. I would love to see like the more like raw data for some of these things, because I wish they had the actual numbers.
Yeah, I would like to see the stats for other stuff beyond my top 1 or my top 5.
Yeah.
Specifically because like I really like that it will show you for your top artists, it will say like the percentile that you're in. Like for Run the Jewels is my top artist, and it says I'm in the top 0.1% of all listeners.
Man, I was so pissed that I was only in the top 2% of like Thundercat listeners. I was like, there's no way. If they somehow included like my YouTube statistics, because that's where I listen to most of my music actually. If it's not Spotify, it's on YouTube. When I was throughout the year when I had time, I would just listen to like, obviously my favorite song of the year is Dragon Ball Durag by Thundercat, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I listened to it on Spotify. I would always watch the music video, or I'd just tab over it and occasionally look at the music video, laugh for a few seconds, and then go back to what I was doing, right? It was a great time. I'm probably a good chunk of like the almost 10 million views on YouTube. I'm going to assume that. But like I feel like I think my statistics for like my most listened to music is probably way different if you include YouTube. Like very,
Yeah.
very different. For example, I think I listened to Leanne LaHavis's Please Don't Make Me Cry a lot more on YouTube than I did on Spotify. That's probably where I get the idea that I listen to it a lot more, or like 46 streams of it doesn't seem like that much, because I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
because I listened to it a whole bunch on YouTube. And like the reason I listen to it on YouTube is because YouTube has the live version of it, which is like a whole new experience, to be honest. Like the studio version of Please Don't Make Me Cry is like, oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, Leanne. But you hear the live version, you're like, wow, who hurt this wonderful young lady? Where do they live in Minecraft? I just want to talk. You know, like it hurts. It hurts hearing it, but I'm like, it's so beautiful. I love this. But yeah, I wish Spotify had more like live versions of songs, because then I would be on that shit like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Live versions of music are actually pretty good, depending on the artist. Leanne LaHavis is definitely one of those. Like sounds, I don't think she sounds bad in studio, but it's a whole new experience if she's live, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. And funny enough, my top song of the year was "Oh My Darling, Don't Cry."
Oh my god, I'm kind of curious what your like top 5 most played songs are.
All right. The top 3 were all Run the Jewels. "Oh My Darling,
Fair
Don't
enough.
Cry," Legend Has It, and Call Ticketron, which I'm really glad it went in that order, because like on Run the Jewels 3, Legend Has It and Call Ticketron are right next to each other, and they just like transition so well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. Number 4 was Diamond Eyes by Deftones. And then number 5 is Leave Me Alone by I Don't Know How, But They Found Me.
Hey, it's the band with the 30, what are the 30 something albums?
The 30 albums, yep.
Yeah, let's go. What's any
I was
update on those
mentioning
30
earlier.
albums?
What's that?
Any update on like the 30 albums situation?
I think I said I gave one to my mom, so I'm down to 29.
Nice.
But otherwise no new information.
Do you ever try to get your parents into the music you like?
Sometimes actually. I actually did introduce them to this band like when I first found out about them a couple years ago. I'm like, yo, you guys gotta check this out, because they sound old fashioned and stuff, and I'm like, boomers would appreciate this.
Right.
So I did that, and they did think it was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom definitely gets into the stuff that, like, my mom will be interested in whatever I do. My dad is kind of more of the like, oh, your generation's music sucks. My generation had fucking AC/DC and shit, and we were really cool, and we did drugs and had sex, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
still
all
do
right,
that.
whatever.
We still do that, buddy.
Yeah, we still do it. It just sounds different.
Yeah, it just sounds way different.
But yeah.
Okay, so I kind of feel that, because like I've tried to get my mom, I've gifted my mom like certain albums that I thought she would like from artists that I like. Like, are you familiar with Father John Misty?
I know who he is. I've never listened to his stuff though.
Okay, based on like my mom's like taste in music, she likes, what's that one song where it's like "Take Me to Church"? It's like, okay, I'm gonna try to find that song. Actually, I'm probably not gonna find it, but like it was really big in the year like 2014, I think. I don't even know. It's like she likes a lot of like music that you would hear like at a coffee shop, maybe, with like a lot of banjos. That's like her aesthetic, kind of. I was like, well, Father John Misty kind of had a song that I feel like my mom would have liked. It came out in like 2016, I think. It was called "I Love You, Honey Bear." It was like probably one of his most critically acclaimed albums, period. I liked it a lot. I bought it on CD. I was like, oh, my mom might like this. So I gave it to her for Christmas. She liked it. I was like, nice. But I can't get my dad into like my music because I also listen to a lot of hip hop, and he has a really weird dislike of hip hop, possibly race related. I'm not totally sure. Yeah. But it's like I can't get either of my parents into most of my music, because it's either like R&B or like hip hop or like sad emo rock, And it's like, I don't think that's just their thing at all. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep that to myself. But I was gonna say what my top 5 most played songs were. According to Spotify, number 1 is "Please Don't Make Me Cry" by Leanne LaHavis. If we included YouTube statistics, it would be "Dragon Ball Durag" by a mile.
Just knowing you, it's definitely Dragon Ball Durag.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm like, I know what I like. Number 2 is "Dragon Ball Durag" by Thundercat. Number 3 is "Summer Gypsy" by Nujabes. And I was really surprised by this one, because I do remember listening to this song a little bit this year. And this song came out like 2003, right? So I'm like, I've always been a huge listener of Nujabes since I first watched like Samurai Champloo like 6 years ago, or 7 years ago actually. But I don't remember listening to it that much towards the third most listened to song of this year. I'm like, what? Really? Okay, fine, whatever. Number 4 is "Hands" by Mac Miller. I'm like, that makes sense. I very much enjoyed that song. And then number 5 is "Puppet" by Tyler, the Creator. And I'm like, I do remember listening to that song a lot. I like that song a lot, actually. I like the bass towards the end. The bass playing is really nice. Yeah. Let's see. There was something else I wanted to say about Spotify Wrapped, but I don't remember what it was exactly. You know what? Whatever. We'll move on to the next thing. So with every year end kind of thing, we have to talk about the Grammys, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Is it 2021 Grammys or 2020 Grammys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 24-21.
I always forget that it's that. Even though most of the music they're talking about is from 2020. I don't get it. Whatever.
Or even
you know what I wanted to talk about with Spotify is how they do genres. Because how they do genres is really stupid.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
What the hell is goddamn Escape Room? Because that is because like I was looking at my infographic for like my top 5 genres of the year, and Escape Room was number 3, and I was like, what the hell is Escape Room? What does that mean? And it kind of just means like it's undefinable, and I'm just sitting there like, well, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. That's like,
I mean, someone made this name.
Yeah, someone made this. Let's see, Spotify, because there's an explanation for that, I'm guessing somewhere. But was it you that posted the little picture of like all the artists that are considered Escape Room? Do you still have that picture? Because I wanted to look at that.
I'll give you the link to the article where I got it from.
Okay.
I'll post it in the Speakeasy chat.
Oh, actually, I found it.
You'll have to scroll down a little bit. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not so much a list, but it's like a clusterfuck of names. Like it's literally just a big clusterfuck of names. Did you post it in the chat? Let's see.
Speakeasy, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I was gonna put it in the just so people can follow along. I'm gonna post it in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Cool. Because it's an interesting list. So they have things like Sophie. And Sophie is an electronic music artist. And I just thought, why don't I just put them under electronic or something? Right? Or they'll have Tierra Whack, which is usually hip-hop. Or they'll have K Tronada, which is like consistently electronic music, very much house-inspired, stuff like that. They have Anderson .Paak, which is like pop and funk and a little bit of hip-hop. They have Rina Sawayama, which is interesting. Because Rina seems very pop. And I don't know if they want to just have a pop thing, even though there is a pop genre in those infographics.
Right.
A lot of this doesn't really make sense to me. I'm just like, I feel like you could put like maybe 5 seconds, or don't even have to put 5 seconds. You can listen to their like music and probably guess where their sound is genre wise. Even if it is a little bit more genre, like not genre, but envelope pushing, you can still put them under a certain genre to some extent. Like I could put Caro Caro Bonito under pop. I feel like that's an obvious pop choice, right? But they have Earl Sweatshirt, which is definitely hip hop, which is it's always been hip hop. Like, okay, or you can put Flying Lotus, which has been like funk and jazz for like the longest of time. None of this really makes sense. I mean, I don't get it.
Do you want me to make it even more confusing?
Yes.
Because I found a list of like subgenres that are related to it.
Okay.
All right. So here are some subgenres that are related to escape room. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay. Vapor Twitch, Metropolis, Dojin, Wonky, Grave Wave, Gamecore, Antiviral Pop, Thai Indie, Fluxwork. Let's see, what else? Kiwi Rock, Mandible, Deep Indie R&B, Freak Folk. Yeah.
I don't think these are real genres. I think these are made up. Like, some of these just sound really, really pretentious. There's one that just says Maine hip hop, like it's the state of Maine. That's crazy because we have the Gucci Mane in the corner. Oh my god.
Lamau.
That is awesome. I didn't even see that coming. There's Lithuanian pop, which I'm like, okay, is that just pop music from Lithuania, or is that like a certain kind of sound? Like, oh, there's so many. This like pisses me off because it just seems like they didn't really want to put in the work of like kind of, you know, what's the word? Just like trying to like label these people, because like the Grammys does it, and we'll get to that a little bit because some of these are interesting as far as like where some people are put. But it's a thing. I was not impressed with this. But I guess we could talk about the Grammys now, unless you had more to add.
No, I guess I'm glad I didn't really have this problem. My top genres were like super basic and super normal. So
yeah, mine was like hip hop, pop, and then like escape room, and then a couple of other things. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, mine were rock, alternative metal, J-pop rock, hip hop, and pop punk. That's it.
Oh,
pretty easy.
Okay, I'm gonna look at my genre. It says I listened to 116 genres this year on Spotify, and I'm like, I didn't know there was that many genres. Like that's
I have
that's
127.
Oh my god. So yeah, my top 5 genres are hip hop, pop, escape room, rap, and then down tempo. I don't know what down tempo is, but
I guess slow songs.
Maybe.
I mean, you kind of think of like what upbeat would be like, right?
Yeah, I guess what I listen to is a little bit more slower, or is a little bit more down. Yeah, I guess it's a little bit like slower tempo usually. Yeah, I guess so. All right, do you want to move on to the Grammys now?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So, how do you feel about the Grammys this year? Do you feel strong? Actually, how do you feel about the Grammys in general, usually?
The Grammys have always been shit. They've always been bad. They're bad and they suck. And this year is no different. Yeah,
it's always kind of been a popularity contest. Even when the stuff you like wins, it's usually the more popular stuff. Statistically, at least for me, when how I've been following it, like, for instance, a lot of people were really upset that Macklemore's album won that one year as opposed to Kendrick's album. And then it makes a lot of sense when you realize Macklemore had the biggest hits that year. That was the year that Thrift Shop came out. That was the year that The Ceiling Can't Hold Us, or whatever the fuck the song is called. Those were some of the biggest songs
that whole album.
Year. That whole album was full of like really radio-friendly hits. It's no surprise it won hip hop album of the year. It's never.
Well,
really
granted,
been...
Kendrick was pretty big. I mean, he had like swimming pools and stuff. Like that was the year. That was when Kendrick really broke out.
Yeah, no, that's when Kendrick. He had a "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe," swimming pools, all that stuff. But like, it did not hold a candle to like "The Ceiling Can't Hold Us" or Thrift Shop. There's a couple of other. Oh, Same Love was that same year, I think. I think it was.
Yeah, same album. Yeah.
Yeah, same album. Like that. Like, if there was no other like, I can't remember which album was also on that nomination list. But if Macklemore didn't drop that album that year, Kendrick would have probably won, considering it was also the most talked about album that came out that year, easily. But the thing is like, even when there are years when like the consensus favorite like hip hop album wins, it's usually also the most popular. Like the times that like Kanye's won, Kanye for like Late Registration, Graduation also had the biggest hits of those years. For instance, Late Registration had Gold Digger. That was a huge song when it came out. Absolutely big. Graduation had fucking Stronger. That was one of the big, that was a huge song for him. A lot of people like got into Kanye through Stronger, like myself included. Like I didn't know who Kanye was until Stronger, right? So it's always kind of been, at least to me, from my perspective, it's always been kind of a like popularity contest with these things. Like it's never really been about, wow, which one is like the best made album. It's been like, oh, which one has like the most buzz on the internet at this point. Like that's why Say So by Doja Cat got a Grammy nomination. That's like the only reason, right? Like I don't think it's like her best song, but like god damn it, was it everywhere? Fucking TikTok, am I right? Like
yeah.
Well,
it's a popularity contest. It also is like a matter of like name recognition, I guess. It's like
there's a lot of factors that go into nominations, and it isn't strictly just merits or like quality.
I'm looking at that year. That was 2014. The year that we're talking about. Like that was the year Daft Punk like swept the awards. That was when Daft Punk came out with their shit. And like
before that, Daft Punk was a household name at that point. Absolutely.
Yeah. But like the biggest snub from that one for me, in my opinion, was the best rock album, which went to fucking Led Zeppelin for a live album. That was the year Queens of the Stone Age came out with Like Clockwork, which is like universally agreed upon as one of the best rock albums of the last 10 years.
Right.
Like that album is like it will be a classic in due time, but it was a fucking masterpiece. Like how does that lose? Because it's fucking Led Zeppelin. That's why.
It seems to be that case. I don't have like strong feelings about this year in particular. Mostly because like the stuff that was nominated, I didn't feel strongly about. I noticed Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion got a lot of nominations. Probably because Megan Thee Stallion like she got like nominated for Best New Artist, I think. And it's funny because she's been doing this for a little while. And she's now like getting recognition. You know what? Actually, speaking of artists for like Best New Artist, there is one that I've been listening to for a while called Kaytranada, who makes a lot, like I said, a lot of like electronic music with like a serious like house and like funk influence. He's been making music since like last decade, and he's like just now getting like recognition. It's kind of funny. It's very interesting that like for some artists, like they don't get like their big break until like 10 years later, right? But let's see, let's look up Best New Artist. So there's Chica. I don't know who Chica is. There's no.
I've heard of her.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I saw a thumbnail for like one of her Tiny Desk concerts, and I didn't click on it for whatever reason. But yeah, no, Doja Cat got like a nod this year, or a nomination for Best New Artist. Megan Thee Stallion, Kaytranada. I don't know who D Smoke is. I don't know who Ingrid Andress is, or Fio. Oh, Phoebe Bridgers had an album, I think, that was liked, if I remember correctly. That name sounds really familiar. I'm gonna have to Google that.
I'm just wondering how the fuck Noah Cyrus got nominated. Noah Cyrus has been around for.
Who's Noah Cyrus? That sounds.
She's Miley Cyrus's sister.
Oh shit! Look at that. I didn't.
Yeah, and she's been making music for a while. Like Best New Artist can mean like, you know, artists who've like just recently emerged into the mainstream, but it's like
also
Noah
people
Cyrus
who just got
has
big,
been around for a long
like,
time.
It seems like it's kind of a vaguely defined award in some ways. Whose eligibility year releases achieved a breakthrough into the public consciousness and notably impacted the musical landscape. Okay, interesting. I can see why Doja Cat and Megan are nominated, because they both both of them like definitely impacted the musical landscape this year. Let's see. I saw hip hop and I didn't really give a shit all that much. Is it hip hop or rap that it's like counted as? Okay, no, it's let's see. There's best rap song, there's best rap album. I was really surprised to see that Nas. See, like you said, I was like personally very surprised to see that Nas's album was nominated because I didn't think that album was that great. It was okay.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it's Nas.
I was surprised. Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, that's the thing is like it's Nas. It's a legacy thing at this point. Yeah. It seems like a lot of these are just kind of like either legacy acts or just people that have got really, really big this year.
Run the Jewels should have been nominated for something, but they probably didn't because they're too political.
Well, you know, it's funny. I was actually going to get to that because there's a couple of political songs on here. Like Beyonce's Black Parade, which was released, I think, on June 19th, which is obviously very political, right? Because of Juneteenth and all that stuff. Because all the stuff that was happening during that,
that's right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beyonce and her hubby have been on like a very pro-black type of message for a few years now. Not surprising that she put out an album called Black Parade. I listened to it the other day. I thought it was okay as far as like Beyonce songs go. But like that song is definitely political. I mean, when you say political, I feel like it kind of depends on the politics being like talked about on their music probably. It seems like Run the Jewels is a little bit more anti-establishment to some extent. Like would you blast Run the Jewels around like, I don't know, some conservatives or some shit? Probably not. Probably not. Or just like very pro status quo kind of people. Although Beyonce's is like very much talking about like inequality for black people, but I guess that's kind of in to talk about. I don't want to come off as like cynical, but that's very in at this point, right?
Yeah.
So that her getting a nomination for that, I think it's like it's got numerous. That song Black Parade has numerous nominations this year. Black Parade. Let's see. I'm trying to control F how many times it's mentioned on this page. It's mentioned 4 times. So it's nominated for Record of the Year. It's nominated for Song of the Year, which I don't know the difference. It's nominated for Best R&B Performance, and it's nominated for Best R&B Song. So that's actually quite a bit. I'm going to expect Beyonce walks away with at least 1 or 2 of those Grammy wins, because it's Beyonce. Like, fuck yeah, she's gonna win. She's absolutely gonna win. Not that I don't think she shouldn't win. It's just how it is. I was really surprised to see that not only Kay Tronada got a nomination, but my boy Thundercat got a nomination for Best R&B Album. And I think it was Best R&B Album. Or was it Progressive R&B Album? That's what it is. I don't know what that means. I don't. So when they mean progressive, do they just mean like, I don't know, like more like envelope pushing R&B album? Like it's not like it's not like a.
You got
typical,
me.
Yeah, well, I'm going to assume because there's also this Chloe and Halle album, which I actually kind of enjoyed. There's a lot of tracks on there that I like a lot, but I don't know if I put it in like progressive R&B album. If anything, it felt more like a pop album to me. But you know what? I'm happy to see them.
Oh wait, sorry. This was the renamed. I don't know if you remember this, but like they renamed the Urban Contemporary album.
Oh,
that's what that is. They renamed it to Progressive R&B.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Any particular reason for that, or?
Well, it obviously got a lot of controversy. Like, if you saw Tyler's.
Oh yeah, okay. Now I remember.
Yeah, he had a rant about this.
It's all coming back to me.
Because I think he won it last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can totally see why they changed it. Okay. Oh, Free Nationals. I was wondering who Free Nationals is. Oh, it's the band that Anderson .Paak plays with. Okay. because I Google Free Nationals and it just shows me the page for Anderson .Paak on Google, and I'm like, that's really helpful. Okay, cool. That's nice. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have much to say about like that award show. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it. I will look at the winners and be like, well, that's cool, and then go on with my life because it doesn't matter that much to me. I've never cared about like award shows or whether music I like gets award shows because it doesn't really mean much to me personally. Like it means it'll mean a lot to artists because that means it'll open doors for other opportunities in the future, because that's kind of what these award shows are, just based on connections and all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, if artists I like win Grammys, then that's cool. If they don't, then that's cool too. Then they'll always be cool to me.
Yeah. The one, honestly, like the main thing that I don't like about the Grammys is that they have a really weird like window for eligibility where it goes from
right.
It goes to like the end. It goes to like August to the beginning of September, or something.
Yeah, and it's like,
and that's just really weird. Like I understand having a cutoff, like for my list, and I'm sure a lot of people do this too. Like my cutoff is December.
Yeah.
So
like
anything that comes out and
because that's the boundaries of the year, right? Like that makes the most sense.
Yeah. So I understand having that cutoff to, get time to collect everything. But it's like, why is it so early in the year,
Right.
It's just weird. So you get stuff that came out in September 2019 that is now getting nominated. And it's like, it's weird that they're doing that. And then there's also stuff from, this year that came out and that's not nominated because it missed the eligibility year. Like the 2 best rock albums, or I guess one best metal albums, whichever you want to prefer. I've been unexpectedly disconnected. What the fuck, Craig? Thank you. Okay. Anyway, the best 2 metal albums this year were Deftones and Bring Me the Horizon, but they came out in after September, so
what the fuck?
They're not eligible.
Oh, I just realized, why isn't Leanne LaHavis nominated for anything this year? Because her album came out in July. It's eligible for this year. And it was critically acclaimed. Like a lot of Fantano loved it. A lot of people loved that self-titled album. Like, man, justice for Leanne, please. I just noticed that she isn't nominated for anything. There's a lot of time where I'm just like, there's so much good. I was really surprised that Mac Miller wasn't nominated for anything, considering that I was really, really surprised by that because everyone loved that album. I guess everyone just forgot about it. Like, holy shit.
I don't know.
I'm a little sad. Like, not even like a legacy or just like a, we feel kind of bad because I don't remember the last time that Mac was nominated for a Grammy. Mac Miller. Let's see. Grammy snub. Was he snub? Oh, I guess we could talk about The Weeknd getting snubbed for Grammys. Which is
there's a big thing about that. Apparently, the rumor, I don't know if this is confirmed or anything, but apparently the rumor is that he's playing. I mean, it is confirmed that he's playing the Super Bowl halftime this year, and so apparently, word is on the street that he was given a choice of either playing, if he decided to play at halftime, then the Grammys would not count him for anything or whatever. Which is fucking stupid. Who would turn down who's going to get the option of either playing halftime or the Grammys? I really wonder. That's a hard decision. But yeah, apparently that's what's going on.
Interesting. Yeah, I haven't personally listened to a Weekend project since House of Balloons back in the day. But it's obvious that he's gotten way more. He's accumulated a lot of success over the years, a lot.
Yeah. And people really liked his new album this year.
Yeah, a lot of people really liked his new album. I guess I'm surprised to see that didn't get a single nomination. This is very interesting, actually. Damn. That's really interesting because it kind of goes back to my point of it seems like the Grammys are kind of very industry focused. Seems like there's a whole it's political in the sense that it's like political for your career kind of thing. It's not like it's a wow, we're here to celebrate really well crafted music, and it's like, no, not really. It's mostly just like for career stuff. I'm like, cool. That's why I think that's why a lot of people don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, so many artists were probably snubbed from this year. That sucks. Well, shit. Oh, do you want to get to the most fun part of this discussion? You want to move away from Grammys into Christmas music? Let's do
Christmas music. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how I want to open this up. So you work at a grocery store, right?
Yeah.
Has your grocery store started playing Christmas music yet?
Yeah, but here's the thing. We actually switch the playlist at night or whatever. So I don't really have to suffer through Christmas music when I'm working.
Oh, that sounds poggers.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like, my store started playing Christmas music. So I worked the Wednesday night before Thursday morning of like Thanksgiving, right? And we tried to get out of there as early as we could because who wants to be here till 6 a.m. on Thanksgiving morning, right?
Right.
We got out at around 2:30. It was around 2:30 that I actually started hearing Christmas music in the store, and I was like, wow, they don't take any they are like impatient as fuck. They can't even wait until like December to start playing Christmas music. It's actually better than last year. They started playing Christmas music about a week before Thanksgiving, which was weird.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the Christmas music at my store sucks because it's not even necessarily the classics that are being played. It's like covers of the classics for what I assume are like money related reasons. Because like I assume with like the legacy stuff, like say like Nat King Cole or like George Michael's Last Christmas, or just any like really well-known Christmas song, probably costs a lot to license or to use or to play in your store, right? Probably costs a shit ton of money because those are legacy acts at this point. I would imagine the royalties and like the licensing hella expensive. So they're gonna play like covers of all of those, and for whatever reason, I guess covers are a little bit cheaper. And it's like I'm getting like, so like my favorite Christmas song is probably like George Michael's Last Christmas, right? And instead I only get like the T Swift version of it, and I'm just like, gross. This is not what I want at all. But I knew this was going to happen this year, so I actually started listening to music, my own music, during like my working a little bit before. I think it started in like November or something, and I was like, it's kind of nice not to have to hear all the Christmas music, to be honest, because when you do listen to it, it sucks. It like really, really sucks. I don't know. I wish I had the option to like to be able to change the playlist at night, because that would be such a good idea. But I was kind of curious what your do you have favorite Christmas songs?
Not really. I've just been I just like tuned myself out of it. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm very picky about my Christmas music personally. Like, so I like so obviously I like Last Christmas, but my other favorite song, my other favorite Christmas song is the one that a lot of people don't like, and it's why I have that one specific Paul McCartney meme on this display image. It is Wonderful Christmas Time is legitimately one of my favorite Christmas songs, and it is one that is disliked by a lot of people for whatever reason, but it like slaps, in my opinion. Like, it absolutely slaps. I don't know what it is about it that slaps, but I'm like vibing to it, and everyone's like, it sucks, and I'm like, well, that's nice, I guess. I'll enjoy it over here in this corner, kind of thing. But I saw that Fantano released a video where he just talks about it for like 12 minutes and how much he doesn't like it. I'm just sitting there like, damn, bro, you didn't have to go that hard. But yeah,
I never thought about that whole licensing thing with because like I've kind of thought that like I would back before we would change the music, or if I'm at the store late enough where they, change it to Christmas music for customers and all, like I would notice that a lot of it is like really old music.
Mm-hmm.
Like not only really old, but like stuff that's like so old that it's like low quality, and it's like
Oh, it's got
how
like the lo-fi quality to it
yeah, almost like it's being played, almost like it was
via
recorded
record
through
player.
a cell phone. Yeah, like it was being played through an old record player and then recorded with a bad cell phone, and
That's
then
the
being
true
played on
lo-fi
an
experience.
yeah. So I was thinking that like maybe Christmas music sucks so much and people hate it so much is because we've just heard the same songs every year so often, and you don't like when was the last time you heard a new Christmas song? I mean, new Christmas songs get made, but like when was the last time that like nationwide we've had like a new Christmas song that everyone likes?
That's what I
You
kind of like
know?
about like say Last Christmas or Wonderful Christmas Time is that they're very original. Like they sound like good on their own. It's not necessarily I like them because they're about Christmas. It's more like Christmas is like a bonus to it, you know? Like
Mm,
it's a fun song that I enjoy on its own kind of thing. That's my problem with a lot of Christmas music is that it's like it's not they don't sound great and it's like the point of it is that it's about Christmas kind of thing if that makes sense. It's got a lot of it has a schmaltz to it that I don't really enjoy, I guess. Um like how do I describe this? Like Santa Baby, like I really don't like that song. Like
mm,
instrumentally, a lot of Christmas songs sound very similar. Like they all have that very specific sound to them that I've never really been into and I'm just like I hear it every year and I just hate it more and more each year. And it's like please stop this. I don't like this anymore. It's like that's kind of my problem with Christmas is that it seems like it's just kind of the exact same like idea every time. It never like
yeah.
moves past itself. It's always stuck in the exact same idea, if that makes
Mm,
sense.
yeah.
At least with like Halloween, it kind of changes after a while. And the same thing with like Thanksgiving is that it feels like it progresses. Although Thanksgiving, my problems with Thanksgiving is like it feels like it never progresses as like a holiday. It's like you do the exact same things every time, and you're just like, I don't like this as much. The more I do it, kind of thing. It's very like
Is there anyone in the entire world who has Thanksgiving as their favorite holiday?
I don't know. Like it's not my least favorite holiday.
Yeah. But I feel like Halloween and Christmas, like we always have them, but it in my opinion, it's less about the days themselves and it's more about like the entire month where we're kind of put into this mood, you know? Like
Yeah,
I love Christmas not for the presents and all. I just like the atmosphere of it. I love the cold, I love the snow, I love the
the
decorations. I love
consumerism.
hell yeah. I love buying stuff, unironically.
It's not even just
And
buying
say,
stuff to like give people. It's also like you're buying Christmas themed other things. Like you're buying Christmas themed
yeah,
like decorations, you're buying Christmas themed music, you're buying Christmas themed just anything that's vaguely Christmas themed. You're probably going to buy this year. It's the same thing with
yeah,
Halloween actually. Like you're going to buy spooky shit, right?
yeah. And Halloween, like I think I said this last time, like Halloween's my favorite holiday because it's just a great mood and I love the aesthetics of it. But Thanksgiving doesn't have anything. It's just a fucking day.
Like it's just a day where you just chill. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing.
I
That's
don't
kind of
know.
the cool thing about like what is it like November is like you don't like get into like the Thanksgiving aesthetic. You just chill. Like it's actually a very low
Mm.
key holiday, which I kind of like about it. Um, I guess for me, I'm not too big on like being like I guess I don't want to say in your face, but a little bit more like obvious with celebrating like a holiday, which is why I like things like Friendsgiving or like a bro like a Thanksgiving, which I know Bacon does like a Friendsgiving kind of thing, where it's a lot less formal and it's just more like you're chilling with people within your age range that you like hanging out with on Thanksgiving kind of thing
Mm.
or around that date. It's like Thanksgiving is more or less like any holiday, just an excuse to hang out with people you like spending time with. But Thanksgiving doesn't have like the it doesn't put on a show necessarily, although there are like traditions, but it's like for the most part you just kind of do what you want to do, man, right? I think I just admitted that Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, actually. So
yes,
I
there
am
you
that
go.
one person that does like it.
Also, Thanksgiving is what Tay celebrates. That's his day. Yeah.
He spends it on Christmas Taycation. I thought of that pun
Yep.
earlier today, and I was like, you know what? Tay would like that. Tay would absolutely love that pun. Shout out to Tay.
Shout out to Tay.
Yeah. Ooh. All right, so we're at an hour, I think. There is one question I did want to ask. I didn't discuss this with you prior, but I thought it'd be a fun surprise. But would
Okay.
you? I saw this mentioned in the music channel, actually. The idea of a music contract.
Oh, yeah, like I could do that. I mentioned earlier that I keep a note of all the albums that I've listened to,
Mm-hmm.
and I did plan on like opening the list up to the public. And the idea was that not only would I have this list and all, but it would also have a form where you could request me to listen to albums. Like I've always thought about like, just like listening to albums and just talking about them on demand or whatever. Yeah, and I the only reason why I haven't done that yet is just because I feel like I need more albums. Like when I get to like 500 or something,
Oh
which I
God.
think I'm at like 300 or 400,
See, I
I'll
feel like
open it
300
up
or
to the
400 is
public.
already kind of a lot. But like, you're not gonna like all of those, right? You're probably gonna like a very small
Oh,
percentage of
definitely
those.
not.
Yeah.
I've actually found out I've like in some cases I just have to like be in the mood to listen to new music. That's why I don't do it too often. Because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times I'll just listen to something and it'll just go in one ear right out the
You
other.
know,
Like
I've
there's some
noticed that this
stuff.
year is that even though I listened to a lot more new music this year, a lot of it
Mhm.
I didn't really like have strong feelings about. It's funny because like
Yeah.
I love that Mac Miller album, but I didn't listen to it until like months later after it came out.
Mhm.
Right? I was like, oh, I then remembered like, oh, randomly, hey, that Mac Miller album came out this year and people liked it. I wonder if it might be worth checking out. And then I
Mhm.
checked it out on my weekend, and I was like, oh wow, this is like actually kind of my vibe. Why didn't I listen to this sooner? And it's like that's kind of my
Mhm.
thing is like with most media is like I tend to consume it like long after it comes out and like the dust settles as far as like the discourse on it or whatever, right? Or the hype
Yeah.
surrounding it. That's kind of
Mhm.
been my like that's I don't know if you noticed that's how I am with anime. Like I'll watch like Beastars
Yeah.
like half a year later after it came out. And it's like I end up liking it, but I'm like I also have a hard time just keeping up with like the ongoing discussion of things, and I tend to just consume media like at my own pace a lot of the time. I think it's worked out for the most part. I'm pretty happy with like sometimes I wish I consumed certain pieces of media earlier. Like, oh, this seems like totally my thing. Why didn't I watch this sooner? But it's like, you know what? I just like watching things at my own pace, and it seems to work out for the most part. Like, I just consume media when I want to. It works, I think. I like it.
Mhm. The opposite actually happened to me with "Eternal to Take" by Lil Uzi Vert. I remember that album came out and people were really hype about it because people really like that guy. And I listened to it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually pretty dope. And then I listened to it a couple days ago and I'm like, it's just some fucking bullshit. This is stupid. I don't get it.
Yeah, I noticed
Uh,
that like if I like listen to something at the as soon as it comes out kind of thing, I notice that my opinion might change very quickly. Or it might change if I listen to it later on. Like for the second time later on. Um I had that a couple like that Chloe and Halle album I listened to kind of semi recently after it came out, and I really liked it. There was this songs that I listened to a lot. Like the title track was this really fun little like house inspired dance number. It's super fun, and they're really good singers, so it works super well. And then I like listened to
mhm.
that album again, like maybe back in maybe in like November, and I was like, oh, this album is like cool, but there's still tracks I like on it, but I'm like I don't feel as strongly about it, you know.
Mhm.
Whereas like I will
Yeah.
listen to the Mac Miller album months later with no like we're kind of forgetting about all the things that were said about it or all
Mhm.
the things going into it, and I'm like kind of appreciated it on like its own terms, if that makes sense, like on its own. right?
Yeah.
There wasn't any. I don't want to say like I'm easily influenced, but like I know that like the everyone like the hype surrounding it can very much influence how you feel about something, and I try to avoid that as much as I can. But I'm still going to check out things as they drop, as if I can, just so I don't forget about it. I was like, okay, like I did that with a lot of hip hop releases this year because for my work schedule, I have Fridays and Saturdays off, and I noticed that this year a lot of, maybe this is just something that happens in general, but a lot of albums will just drop on Fridays, and it's like I get why they do that, so you have like time during your weekend generally to listen to it. And when I got home from work on Friday mornings, I would just listen to that album, and it's like it was very easy to just listen to a lot of new music this year because I was like on days that I had time to listen to it, you know. But I noticed that like a lot of the stuff I listened to, I didn't like a whole, like I wouldn't say I hated it, but I'm like like you said, it goes in one ear and out the other sometimes. But I'm so glad that I found things that I like. Like there are plenty of things that I listened to this year that I was like, oh, this is really nice actually. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would be down for a musical contract if you're down. I've got some discographies to throw out there.
Sure.
I'm always down to get more people to listen to Neil C.C. Orega. I'm always down to get more people.
I'm interested. Yeah, mashup music is very cool. I just like every time you like when you were talking about mashup music, I was just thinking about like Siva Gunner and shit like that.
Oh,
I
there's
know
a
that's
lot
not
of like really,
what he does, but
there's a lot of mashup music that I don't like out there. I actually looked up a bunch of anime mashup music the other day, and a lot of it like sucks. Like a lot of it's like very easy, low hanging fruit kind of stuff. Like they'll take an anime opening and then they'll just throw on like the Space Jam theme vocals over it.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I've heard this for years. It's not that funny to me anymore. I'm like, it's so like this is where I get really snobby, I guess, about mashup music. But like, I think it's very, very easy to throw like rap vocals over like pop music. That's relatively pretty easy. For
Yeah.
me, for what I like about like Neil's mashup music is that it's very much like a lot of it, it's when you listen to it, it's like, well, this sounds like a real challenge to put together. And a lot of the time, the execution is actually really good. And not that it's just like, I like it because the joke itself. It's more like I like it for like the execution itself as well. That's why I think last time when I talked about it, I said it was very well made, which is like which is not like false, but it doesn't really describe what I'm talking about, what I really mean, which is like a lot of the time there's a lot of thought put into these mashups. A lot of the time they're all also made for the sake of like one single joke. Like there's a song called Sexual Lion King, right? And it is a mashup of the Lion King theme and what is it? A Marvin Gaye track, and it's very, very funny. Like I get the joke, but the problem is I don't like how it sounds. Like I get the joke, but it's funny. There's also another song from Mouth Dreams called it's about ribs, right? So it starts with the Chili's baby back ribs theme, which is like funny, right? And then comes in at one point some Marilyn Manson vocals. And if you know like this, so you know why that's funny, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like for those that don't know, there's a long time rumor that Marilyn Manson. Okay, so no, actually, let me explain the joke really.
Oh my
quick.
god, I know where this is going. I just now made the connection.
Yeah, no, so like there's the bit like there's the Chili's baby back ribs theme, right? And the first Marilyn Manson vocals that come through are from The Beautiful People, where he's like, "I don't want you and I don't need you." And I'm like, if you know the joke, that's the funniest shit in the world, right? So like for those that don't know the joke, allegedly Marilyn Manson removed some of his ribs for the sole purpose of sucking his own dick, right? And if you are aware of that idea, like him coming in with the vocals of "and I don't need you and I don't want you," talk in reference to ribs, like that's the funniest shit ever. It's like if you know, you know. Like
Yeah.
Neil's kind of a genius when it comes to like weird jokes like that. Like that being said, the song doesn't necessarily work on its own, but like as a concept, it's very, very funny. That's the one thing I like about Neil is like if the song doesn't like work as a song, you can at least laugh at the joke. But for me, my favorite Neil tracks are like ones that are funny as a joke, but also slap really hard. Like songs that have no reason to fucking slap, kind of thing. I could probably go on for like hours about Neil's music, but essentially, I would highly recommend anyone check this out. I'm probably going to talk about Neil's music in other podcasts in the future, whether I really wanted to or not. It's going to come out because it's just like something that's on my mind a lot is like jokes like these where I'm like, holy shit, no one else could really think of this kind of thing, right? But yeah.
Yeah.
Is the ribs joke like that well known at this point? Like,
It's something I've known about for a long time.
it was something I learned about recently before. Like, I learned a couple years ago, and I was like, did he actually do that? And then I hear the song, and I'm like, oh my god, that's based on the thing, right? That has to be intentional, right? And I was like, yes, it very much was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good shit. I don't know if I have anything else to talk about at this point. Oh, what artists? Oh, I was going to ask you, what artists are you kind of looking forward to next year, if they even drop anything? Kind of like, what artists would you like to hear from next year, kind of thing.
Okay. The one thing, like the one album that I know is coming out next year that I'm looking forward to, there's this metal band called Architects, who I've never even really been a fan of. Like, they're a really well-known, well-respected British metal band, and their past couple albums have been like really hype for people. For me, not so much. But this new album, they like changed up their style and are a bit more. They're a lot more melodic and stuff. And I just think it's way better. Like it's just really, really good. The one song they put out this year, it's in my list. And they put out another one like a couple days ago. That's like I joked. It's like, oh, technically this is my favorite song of 2021. Yeah, they have an album coming out in February that I'm really looking forward to. And my favorite band, my absolute favorite band of all time, Rise Against, should be coming out with an album. I think I've heard that they like have an album that's finished and they're just waiting for, like, lots of bands just have stuff that's ready to go. They're just waiting for COVID to stop ruining the music industry, so they can do that. So yeah, Rise Against is going to put out something. Remember Kendrick said that he had an album.
He did.
That was like
he did.
Like he literally just had an album, but he's just sitting on an album, and it's like at any moment he could put it out, and he's just waiting for this shit to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also waiting for that Kendrick album. I was like, okay, it's been like 3 years. Kendrick album should be around the corner somewhere, right? And then apparently I saw on like our hip hop heads that like supposedly Kendrick had an album done, and this was like, I think this was March or April or something, maybe even February.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna see what happens with that. I'm like, cool, and then it never happens, and I'm like, great. This is how I was also waiting for a No Name album, because it's been a couple of years since her last album. She even said on Twitter, like, oh, I have an album pretty much done. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And I don't know why she's not releasing it, but she just does what she wants. So I'm like, okay, cool. Awesome, poggers. So I guess I'm going to assume it's for COVID reasons. And I'm like, I guess I'm kind of wondering what like stuff is going to be done after COVID. I can't wait to go back to concerts. I want to go back to concerts really badly, actually.
Yeah.
But I've been impressed with all the artists that have been doing like at home concerts. I'm gonna bring this back. Leanne LaHavis has done actually a lot of at home concerts. They're really good, fantastic. I would highly recommend all of them. There's a lot. I think Thundercat did a few at home concerts as well. He did a performance with Ariana Grande of his song "Them Changes," and there's a reason why that connection is like important. Because if you don't know, Thundercat was best friends with Mac Miller, and according to like Thundercat, Mac Miller's favorite song ever was "Them Changes" by Thundercat. And if you also know, Mac Miller used to be in a relationship with Ariana Grande, right? So seeing them perform that song together this year was like kind of, it was like like tear inducing a little bit. Like it was like happy tears. I'm like, oh, this is kind of sweet. This is wholesome. I like this sort of thing.
It is interesting.
Yeah. They did a little concert for Adult Swim. Adult Swim always usually has like really good taste in music, actually. Like they're always promoting like super dope artists a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what else there is to say beyond looking forward to. It's funny because like I can't even say, besides like No Name and Kendrick, there's not a whole lot of artists I'm really looking forward to, because like a lot of the music I like tends to be stuff that I just kind of stumble across. It's never just like, oh, I like it because it's this one artist. It's like, I like it because their song is really good or their album is really good, kind of thing. I have a hard time like sticking to just one artist a lot of the time. It's like, okay, I gotta find something that's unique, sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of rambling, so I don't know what else to say,
I guess the only other thing is like, were there any surprises that you had this year?
Oh, surprises. Oh, can I talk about Something About You? That 645 AR track featuring FKA Twigs.
Oh my god.
Dude, that's
that fucking thing.
So
that fucking piece of shit.
You say that's a piece of shit, but it's like it's in my top 10 most listened to songs on Spotify.
I say it's a piece of shit. It's like I just kind of say that for his other stuff.
Okay,
that song,
no,
at
it's
least
fine.
it's
like I understand that it's a very.
I kind of appreciate it for like a meme. It's like,
I don't even think it's a meme. I think it's made in sincerity. I think so. It also has one of my favorite music videos of this year, and not for the reasons you think. If you're assuming that I like it for horny reasons, that's not true. Even though I didn't know I like the idea of FK Twigs cosplaying as Asuka from Evangelion. That shit's fire. I'm not gonna lie, but that song or that music video has very like dark vibes to it. It's kind of dark and depressing. Like that.
It's about like spending all your money on e-girls, isn't it?
Well, it's like this guy like seems like kind of incel-y. Either he has like a parasocial relationship with Twigs via cam shows, or he had a relationship with Twigs prior to her doing cam shows, and he's still not over her. So he's kind of like simping for her via the cam shows. And that's an interesting dynamic, right? Like the lyrics are kind of dark once you kind of like watch the video along with the lyrics. Like if it sounds like a generic R&B track if you just listen to the song, but once you like listen to it with the video, it's like kind of takes on a whole different meaning and has like this very weird vibe to it that I think is really interesting. I don't think it's talked about enough with that music video, but I wasn't expecting to like that song as much as I did, but I just kind of kept like listening to it because I'm like, I mean, I'm not like head over heels over like 645 AR, but like,
yeah,
FKA Twigs did like the whole like high pitched vocals thing really, really well. Actually, she kind of killed that shit. That is like the part I keep coming back to the most. But yeah, it's a very unusual track, and I was like that was like one of the most surprising things I liked this year. I think there's a couple of other things that I really liked this year. Let's see. I'm trying to think about like all the stuff that I listened to the most that came out this year. It's kind of difficult because there's a lot of stuff that I listened to that didn't. Oh, actually, can I say that the Logic album this year was actually like surprisingly very good? Like
I've heard about that. Yeah,
it's actually surprising. Like it's funny because he like doesn't take himself that seriously on this album. Like he just kind of just like spits raps for like an hour long on some like really dope production from like No ID. And it's like, this is what I've wanted from Logic since like 2014 Logic. Like Logic has been like kind of getting really big brained with like all of his releases for the past couple of years and like takes himself very seriously. And it's like, he wanted to be like the next Kendrick, and it's like, you are not the next Kendrick. Like it's like the execution of a lot of his concept albums was just so half-assed, kind of half-baked a lot of the time. And I'm sure there's a really good album in him somewhere, maybe, but he just maybe.
Well, he's done, isn't he? Didn't he retire?
Oh yeah, he did retire, but he's sitting on a whole bunch of music. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if I really believe that. Um, I think he's still gonna put out music probably. The thing is, when rappers say that they retire, I never believe it because like Nicki Minaj said she would retire and she's still putting out features. Like, it's like okay, whatever, cool. Jay-Z said he retired. He like if it makes any sense, if it makes any difference, Jay-Z said he was going to retire with the Black album that came out like 2003. So like for reference, no one ever really retires in hip hop. It's kind of a meme
Yeah.
at this point. Um, but yeah, that song or not that song, but that album I liked a lot actually, surprisingly. Let's see. Oh, it's funny because a lot of my most listened to songs are either from artists I've come to like or just from not this year, which is like not helping me at all. Uh, let's see. You know what? I couldn't find something that I couldn't find any like surprises this year, so I'm like, cool. We'll just go with something about you. That's my surprise sleeper. What about you? Did you have like a surprise hit that you're like, oh shit, was not expecting to like this?
Um, well, I mentioned that my favorite album this year, and also my favorite song this year, is "Bring Me the Horizon." And this is a band that I've never been like super into.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've been all right. I even have one of their albums. And they have like a couple of songs that I really like. But this was the year where they put out an album where almost every track is like my favorite song this year. The freaking song that they did with Baby Metal is the best song that either of them have
They did
ever
a song
done.
with
And
Baby
Baby Metal's,
Metal. What?
yeah, yeah, Kingslayer. And Baby Metal is another band that it's like, I've been amused by them. They have a couple really good songs. Never been that into them, but then you just bring them together. And I just love this thing so much because it's like the edgiest song I've ever heard. It's just so fucking loud and it's so fucking ridiculous. But also you have Baby Metal on it where it's just like really fun and really happy. Um, there's a part towards the end where the singer of BMTH has like this really loud, intense scream, and then they follow this up with Baby Metal going, "Ooh, yay!" And it's like the funniest thing, the most awesome thing ever. It's just freaking incredible hearing this ridiculously edgy track with Baby Metal.
That sounds ridiculous. I've never gotten
It's
into Baby Metal that much because like they just seem like a big meme band to me.
I mean, in some ways they are, but like I appreciate them. I think they're fun.
Mm-hmm. It's
Um,
weird that I'm like scoffing at the idea of meme music when it's like I am the meme music man, but I'm like I get picky about my meme music. I have standards for my meme music.
I mean, Baby Metal does have like some genuinely good songs. Last year they were on my favorite songs list because they had this one track that was like a weird like Indian metal song
Mm-hmm.
that was just like what the fuck. But yeah, it was really good.
That sounds dope.
Um, yeah. Um, Another thing I've been listening to a lot is the song that Calliope does. The VTuber Maury Calliope. She has her own rap songs, and there's one that's like it's corny and it's dumb and it's goofy, but at the same time, it's like I respect it. It's catchy. It's actually really well produced,
Mm-hmm.
and it's good. Uh, yeah. That. What else? System of a Down fucking put out new music this year. That was something that I genuinely thought would never ever happen in my lifetime.
They gotta be old as fuck at this point.
Yeah, they're old and there's lots of like drama around the band. And it's probably just like, a one-time thing, but I'm just glad it happened. Other than that, I
Don't mind
don't
me, my
actually
smoke alarm
think
is going off. I don't know why.
oh,
It's probably my dad making something in the kitchen. So yeah.
okay. Other than that, no, nothing really that surprising. This was just the year where a lot of my favorites released music, or I found a lot of favorites because this was the year I started listening to Run the Jewels and Deftones and a bunch of other stuff that's on my list.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if I really have like favorite. Like if I'm like if I like found new favorites necessarily, because I'm like a lot of these people I'm like I've been listening to since last year or the year before. But I have, I guess a new favorite would be Leanne LaHavis, obviously.
What about Rena?
Oh, well, I mean, I was familiar with Rena stuff with her EP that came out 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The one that's produced by Clarence Clarity. Everyone go check out Clarence Clarity, actually. That's like, honestly, that shit slaps. Like, the guy makes like electronic music, but it's like it's very glitchy electronic music. Super duper worth in my opinion. Random recommendation, but yeah. If you know my taste in music, you probably like wouldn't be surprised by that recommendation. But yeah, let's see. Oh, actually, you know what's an artist that I discovered this year that I wasn't familiar with, and it was recommended by Kichi Wichi, actually, user in the Discord. It was Selena, the Latin artist.
Oh, yeah.
Her song "Dreaming of You" slaps like no other song does. I listened to a lot of oldies this year, actually. A lot of like my Spotify Wrapped is actually a lot of songs that came out either like 10 years ago or like 30 years ago. Like a lot of oldies. And I realize I'm like even though I'm like 25, I listen to a lot of like boomer music. Like I like boomer music. It's actually like very nice. I like that stuff. Yeah, it's good stuff. I like it. Shout out to Selena. Everyone should listen to Selena. Her music is really good, actually. We lost her too soon, unfortunately. Rest in peace.
I've never actually listened to her music, but I have seen the movie about her.
Is that the one with J-Lo?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, because I know there's also a Netflix series about J-Lo. Or not J-Lo. There's a Netflix series about Selena. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy. But yes.
Yo, says Kichi Wichi.
Yo, right? See, I hear people's recommendations. Like, I'm always down for new music. I think I'm probably the most music listening person of the podcast. I might be. I don't know. Either you or me are the most music heavy people, I think. Probably. I don't know.
Cav is much more music heavy than
you
us.
know what? Cav, I do see Cav on Spotify a lot on Discord. He just doesn't
Cav
say anything. He's just always on Spotify. And I'm like,
he's in the award server a lot. Like I've actually talked to him in the music channel on the award server.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's where he is.
He's not totally dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's just like chilling. He's just like playing games and shit.
You know what? I get it. I do the same thing. Honestly, yeah. That sounds like a good time. Oh, I was going to ask you one more question. Is your Discord status a song lyric?
It's Kingslayer. Yeah.
Kingslayer, okay.
Kingslayer, destroying castles in the sky.
I kept thinking it was like that one techno song from like the early 2000s that was really big called Castles in the Sky. I don't know if anyone knows of it. If you're not familiar with electronic music, you may not have heard of it. But like for whatever reason, Castles in the Sky, I'm always reminded of that song with your status. I like putting song lyrics in Discord status. This is actually kind of fun, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I've always been like ever since Discord introduced this feature. I'm like, oh, finally, it's like back on the
Skype
days of Skype.
Yeah,
where
that's what I used to do with Skype all the time. It was fun.
That was the one thing that Skype had that Discord didn't have, and I really missed. But now it's here. Because I remember before I had the status I have now, my status was "I Believe Your Love," which was my favorite track from the new Deftones album.
See, mine are also song lyrics, but they're always like either funny or like mad political. Because for a long time, mine was the Tupac lyric, "They got money for wars but can't feed the poor," and I was just like, you know what? That's just how I feel, man. But now
that's how it is right now.
that's how it's been since not even before the 90s. Like it's been like that for a long ass time. But yes,
forever, yeah.
And if you are wondering, my current one is absolutely a Neil Cicerega song.
I see.
It's Rough Rider Buffalo Man.
I know for a moment before you change it to this, for a moment it was I may be covered in cat hair, but I still smell good.
I still smell good. I'm like, yeah.
Which is genuinely one of my favorite lyrics of the whole. Probably because that's my entire life.
That's see, Thundercat makes lyrics for the everyday man, like
Yeah.
every day. But no, this song is from, or this lyric is from a remix. Ever seen the movie Wild Wild West with Will Smith?
No, I haven't.
Are you familiar with the movie?
I'm aware of it.
Okay. Are you familiar with the song that came out with the movie? Okay. So Neil Cicerega did a remix of that song, and it's infinitely better than the original version, where it's called Wow Wow. And he manipulated the vocals enough to where Wild Wild sounds like Wow Wow now. It's actually pretty impressive. One of the lines that just stuck out to me was Rough Rider, Buffalo Man. And I'm like, I don't know why I say that to myself, but I'm like, Rough Rider, Buffalo Man now. Yes, it's a good time. I don't know. I think I come off as a little obsessed with his music, but like once you like get into his music, you kind of become obsessed with it because it's just that like kind of a rabbit hole of memes and like really good music composition. It's a very good combination. I love it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to ask about, because I've noticed that I was like, I couldn't tell if they were like lyrics or like song titles necessarily. For your statuses. So I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Nah, I only use lyrics.
Okay, kind of same actually. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Good times. I guess we could end this. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say.
It's been an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's good enough. All right. How do I end these? Do I want to end the OBS stream or do I want to end the YouTube stream first?
If you stop streaming on OBS, it'll stop the stream on YouTube.
Poggers. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty easy.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope everyone has a good rest of the year. I know we're going to keep doing this, but like, you know, please stay safe.
There should be another one of these coming out soon.
Yeah, there's a super secret one that no one knows about. They just said, they just started recording one day and we're just like, what are you guys doing? They're like, nothing. Don't worry about it. I was like, okay, now I'm more interested, broski.
So yeah, look forward to that.
Legitimately none of us have no idea what it's about. None of us have any idea. They just said it's a secret and we're just like, I have ideas as to what it is, but I'm not going to say it on stream.
Also, 2019 in review. I promise I've made some progress on that. I know I said I would put it out in November, and like I didn't. Like I swear, like the first couple weeks of November, I just like was chilling and just like I guess recharging a bit. And then once I started to actually work on this thing, guess what happened? Fucking Thanksgiving rolls around and I work in a grocery store. So now I'm working my ass off all the time. And so, yeah.
Let's get
so
this
I didn't. So I lost. So I made a lot of money, but had no time to actually work on that. So that's why it's not out. Yeah. I really need to get this done because I said that. Like my main plan is that I'm gonna finish that episode and then finally switch over to my new computer and then do other stuff. And like the longer I take on this, the longer I have to use this piece of shit, which is really bad. And it's really inconvenient. It's not good. Yeah. So at this point, I am also really annoyed that the episode isn't out. It's as bad for me as it is for you.
I am not annoyed personally. I'm just like chilling because like I have no room to speak about something taking too long because I also said that like part 1 would come out in April and it came out in fucking July. So I have no room to speak really. And it's like, you know what? Take the time you need. I totally get what you're going through, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, it will be out at some point. It's being worked on. It's happening.
Are you going to dedicate this to Romeo?
Well, it is the Romeo Rodeo.
I was going to say, it is the Romeo Rodeo, and now you, like, actually have to dedicate it to Romeo.
Honestly, like, I actually kind of felt bad. It's like, it's been going on for so long that Romeo fucking died.
Why am I laughing at that? It's so bad. It's just like, it's bad. God damn it. All right. Well,
R.I.P. Romeo.
R.I.P. Romeo. This episode is dedicated to Romeo and forklift certified people, like the true MVPs of the world.
Yeah.
I love those forklift certified memes. Like, there's like the women when they see like forklift certified men, they're like, ooh, they're like swooning over him. I'm just like, I wish that was me. But yeah, hope everyone has a good day. Wash behind your ears. Please wear a mask. If you're gonna go outside. Be safe. Happy holidays. Stuff like that. So yeah. See you, everybody.